good morning, good morning. It is October 30th, at least it is for me where I am in the United States. This is an impromptu live because it is mostly addressed to a very teeny tiny sliver of YouTube, commonly known as the street sector, and because the individual that is the topic of this live is someone extremely insignificant, and frankly, it's kind of sad and ridiculous that I even need to address this person. I doubt that very many people will watch this, but just for the replay value, I'm going to go ahead and create it. So I do have to acknowledge that currently I am driving home. I am on the way from dropping my kids off at school. I am heading home to try to get ready for the first of 6 meetings that I have today. It's a very busy day for me. This is some of the free time that I have. And so while I will use the rest of it to listen to music and kind of just vibe, I decided I'm going to pop a liar. This liar calls themselves King Timothy. Someone calls them Tim. They really should call them Tintin. But I'm going to refer to them by a great nickname that they were given by Abs from the street sector, Tim-Do-Shay, or Tim-Do-Shay, because they were pretending to be a number of people. I'm just hoping that my audio is okay. If it isn't, my apologies. I'll listen to this briefly later, and if it's inaudible, I'll just delete it. But I'm going to go ahead and speak my piece because I just heard a replay of Brown Eye Reacts 2's live from the other day, and Copper, who I adore, Copper's awesome, came on to address some lies. And I was like, you know what? That is really cool because I've been lied on by this loser. Hey, Platinum. All right. Can y'all hear me okay? And Bridget, hey. All right. I'm hoping y'all can hear me okay. And if I miss anybody, I'm sorry, I'm driving. If my audio is weird or not clear, if somebody could just put it in the chat and hopefully I'll see it at some point. Like I said, I'm driving. But so let's pop this Tim-Do-Shay liar, this idiot. Good morning. So first, let me give a little context for those who might not be familiar. I'm not going to go into too much detail because it's really not that important, because this person is, again, really a waste of time and energy, but I'm just driving, so, whatever. So there is a person who apparently has no life, is really miserable and sad and full of lies. And so this person used to frequent different channels. They used to try to go to the beef sector, which people would try to get rid of them as quickly as they could because they were bored, and they would make fun of the person. They used to go to an individual who professes themselves to be bougie, to their page. They used to go to Simeon Speaks' page, and then they used to go to Vibes Queen's channel. So they popped all over the place in different channels, and they had all these different sob stories about how they don't date black women anymore. They're now with a white woman. They're so happy, which if that's you, cool. Love is love, right? I don't give a freak who a person sticks their penis in. You know what I mean? Like what color they are, am I happy? Be happy. But, all these different stories. And then they were always, so they claimed that they had a wife and 2 kids and they had been killed and all this kind of stuff. They had all these different stories. They had these friends, quote unquote friends, imaginary friends, who would follow them from place to place, follow them into when they would go to chats, always laughing at everything they had to say, always typing the similar way. I didn't pay this person any mind because I really didn't care. So that's not my business. YouTube is something that I pop on for, just during the day to pass the time. I'm working, I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'll pop in to, see what's going on, whatever. When I'm done, I turn it off. It's kind of like TV for me. You know what I mean? It's like entertainment, right? So I do not spend enough time paying attention to like this insignificant individuals like Tim-Do-Shay to really notice patterns. But other people are a lot more observant than I am, and they notice. And then this person had these extravagant stories. Someone was in prison for 20-30 years. The years kept changing. Another person got shot, and someone had to supposedly drive from out of town to see them. Tim-Do-Shay supposedly went to Paris for like 2 days or 3 days on a business trip, but couldn't describe anything about what it was like to be in Paris, which is very odd to those of us who have been to Paris before. But at any rate, so this individual got confronted and basically, about lying and pretending to be all of these people that they really weren't. So Tim-Do-Shay ended up being Timothy and his fake girlfriend and or friend and his fake friend. He had all these fake personalities. When he was confronted about it, first he was lying. He said, okay, one of them was fake, the other one wasn't, blah, blah, blah. Then he said he felt ambushed and etc. He had all these different stories. And then he later said that he did it on purpose to get back at people who were being nice to him, might I add. So I don't know why you're getting back at people who weren't harming you. But at any rate, this person was popped for the liar and this idiot that he is. And he, to be frank, when he used to pop on that panel, and sit there and talk and drone on and on and on. And I'm not knocking someone who is verbose, because I am. But he was boring. He used to just talk about whatever. It wasn't related to the content. It was irritated, but people would tolerate him, right? Because it was quite clear that he had special needs. And people are kind to those of us with special needs. They're also mean to us, but at any rate, people would tolerate him. They'd humor him. And so this person has found themselves a home on one of the biggest trolls channel, this individual called Brown Eye Reacts, Crater Face, Freddy Krueger. They found themselves a home on that channel, and now they feel emboldened. Now their nutsacks has dropped, right? You know what I mean? It's no longer all up in the top, right? It has descended. Congratulations, Timothy. You finally found a place where you belong, right? So Timothy, Tim-Do-Shay, called himself apologizing for lying on people. But when he got caught lying, instead of, he got angry and he went on a crazy, binge of creating all these weird, psychotic, harassing videos of all these different people, myself included, calling us prostitutes, lying on us, saying we want him, saying we're following him around, all this kind of foolish nonsense, right? I got 2 of his foolish videos struck on one of his, since he has multiple personalities and all, he has dissociative identity disorder, probably, allegedly, his multiple personalities. I got him popped. So I don't know what his issue is, but after his story was done, I was over and done with it. And I really never really said much about him, because I never really cared about him before we knew he was a psycho idiot. And then the only thing I did was tell him when he was on Vibes Queen's channel, and I told him, I said, hey, you're saying that you did this on purpose to get back at them, but why would you want to get back at people who have been nice to you? That doesn't make sense. I don't understand why you'd want to get back at them. You're different. I'm different too. You were treated kindly. Why were you wanting to get back at people who were treated kindly? That doesn't make sense. I said that to him. And then when he was talking about Queen Sugar Shay, who is really the image of one of the Real Riding Uncut interviewees, when he said that she couldn't come on camera because he told her not to, I said, no, it's because she doesn't exist. Other than that, I really didn't give a freak about this dude. He is not of any importance, right? But he got mad. He went on this long spree. So he supposedly apologized, right? Everybody's supposed to forgive him for his lying and trolling. He triggered people. He's talking about a wife being killed and a son being killed by a drunk driver and all this kind of stuff. There were people in there who've been impacted by drunk drivers, by car accidents. They had been harmed by these things, and they were triggered. They felt sorry for him. So he's on panels making up all these sob stories, talking about people being shot, in chats full of people in which some of them have been shot, right? So he's where everyone is supposed to forget about the harm he caused, which I don't give a freak. Like, after it was done, I was like, this is sad and pathetic. Like, what kind of a loser do you have to be to create false accounts and then be like, oh yeah, you're so funny, oh you're so smart, oh you're so handsome, oh King Tim's in the building, like, you know what I mean? Like, I understand people have troll accounts, but they usually just have them just to go watch something that they want to watch and not mess up their real algorithm. They don't have it because they're going to be all up in the chat and making up stories about driving several states over to go help somebody and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, everybody's supposed to forgive him for what he did, for calling people names, for calling people prostitutes, for lying on folks, using their image and their voices without their permission, all this kind of stuff. But everybody's supposed to forgive him, but he can't forgive anybody for anything. And even who gives a freak about forgiveness? We're all strangers. But so I want to pop a lie, because I was on the Brown Eye Reacts 2 channel at one point. Again, I used to watch it here and there when I was bored. Vibes Queen used to share it, and so a lot of us watched it. And so I used to share it because he's a troll. Sometimes he's funny. He can't get his audio right. He's singing in falsetto with his all off key. You know what I mean? Train your voice, dude. All this kind of stuff. He's using, elementary words like pompous and like thinking like that's a flex. You know what I mean? Like, so he can be funny, right? Every now and again, he'll make a good point, right? But I don't really give a freak one way or another. But I had told him I would not come back to his panel after he, because he was orchestrating drama and it was quite clear. And then also because, there was a civil matter, involved and a criminal matter that I was dealing with that individual. So I told him I wouldn't come back to his panel, and I didn't. But I did still occasionally when I wanted to watch things, right? And so anyway, I was in, so I'd watch here and there. And one time I was just scrolling. I wasn't even on his channel, but I was just scrolling through YouTube, and I saw an update. And I saw Speaking Facts was on his panel, because when you see updates of someone who's live, at least on mobile, I don't know how it is on the computer, but it'll show you like a little image of the live, right? It's going on now. And so I saw Speaking Facts. And I was like, oh, Speaking Facts on Brown Eye. And I like Speaking Facts. So I was like, okay, let me just click and watch. Again, it wasn't because of Brown Eye. It was because of Speaking Facts. But so I got in the chat. I said a few things, blah, blah, blah. Again, I had never said I was never coming back to the chat. I had said I was never coming back to the panel. But I wasn't planning to come back to the chat either at the time that I had litigation. But at any rate, but I came back and I was in the chat, and I was not saying anything. First of all, I wasn't saying anything about Timothy at all, because he's like a non-factor to me. After I struck him and I went about my business, I didn't even put the stuff on YouTube. I could easily put it. I could put them up. I've got the screenshots of when I struck his behind. You know what I mean? But that was done with when he was lying and doing all that stuff. I don't care about him. He's so unimportant. So anyway, he timed me out just because I was there. And so the only reason I hit Crater Face's panel was because I wanted to ask, why was I timed out? Not to beg, not to plead, not to be like, oh my God, please let me up. I don't care. It's so stupid. But to ask, why'd you time me out? And so Timothy got in there, you're not welcome over here. You're talking about, all right, if I'm not welcome, cool. I don't need to go where I'm not welcome. I don't give a freak. Like, okay, right? You know what I mean? And so, like, I'm trying to remember what happened. I think Brown, I said something or whatever about why'd you say you weren't coming back? I said, no, I said I wasn't coming back to your chat, but I can't type in your chat because I got timed out. And so he's like, well, Tim's a mod. And, which again, mods can do whatever they choose to do. The channel holder ultimately is the one who makes the final decision, in my opinion. But you can rock with your mod. I know Tim feels like he's so significant now that he's a mod. But I have the screenshots and I will post them. Again, this is so stupid and insignificant. So I think after today, I'm taking this stuff down. So maybe I'll keep it up for like 24 hours or so. But this person is so insignificant and stupid. But I did not say anything about this person. I certainly did not say anything bad. This person's irrelevant just because they're a mod. And so I don't give a freak. I was there because Speaking Facts was there. So and the copper had let me know I was timed out. So I came up to be like, why'd you time me out? And he's mad. He's screaming and hollering and time out, and telling copper, I don't have a problem with you. I have a problem with MGO. You have a problem with me, dude. I don't have a problem with you because I don't care about you. You're nothing. You're nobody. I feel sorry for you. You had to make up personalities to feel like somebody. And now that, because you have a mod stick, you know how many mod sticks I have that I've given back in 3 different sectors? Dude, I'm just a random subscriber. You know what I mean? But you feel like somebody, because someone finally gave you a mod stick. Congratulations. You know what I mean? You have an unpaid volunteer role. But at any rate, you said you don't want me there? Cool. I don't have to be there. But don't say that you timed me out because I was saying anything about you, because I was not. Don't say that I was following you around, because I am not. I've watched Brown Eye's channel before you used to go there. Before Brown Eye called for you and said, hey, Tim, because you were the flavor of the month. You realize that Brown Eye didn't give a freak about you, right? Now I know he rocks with you. But you realize your friend didn't give a freak about you until you were a hot story, until you were a 15 minutes of fame dude, right? Because you were popped as being a big liar with a bunch of personalities. Then Brown Eye was interested in you. And then because you're comic relief, he kept you around. But you realize, when did he talk about you? When did he shout you out? When did he care about you? He did not. You know what I mean? But okay, but that's fine. But now you got your overnight fair weather friend, right? So you think you're somebody, right? So I had already been watching Brown Eye's chat and had popped on the panel and had, I think, the panel, I'm pretty sure the panel at least once, and had definitely been in the chat here and there when I felt like it before you ever came there. Sweetheart, no one is following you around. You are a nobody. You're nobody. You're nothing. When you would get on Vibes Queen's chat, That's when I would go run my errands and stuff. I had to go put some dishes in the dishwasher, or if I had to go like, fold some laundry, that's when I would go do it, because you're boring. You're monotone. You're like annoying. So like, and the chat she would admonish them to be kind to you and just be patient, right? With your nonsense contributions that were like annoying and derailed the conversation. But again, people were nice to you, you stabbed them back, but that's your prerogative. You can be a snake, you can be a jerk, you can be a scorpion, be whatever you are. Be whatever you are, Tim, right? But I don't care. But don't say that I'm following you around. I did not follow you around. I had already been watching Brown Eye when I felt like it. Again, he's funny, right? He's like comical. I do not like you. I do not want you. I'm not interested in you. I wasn't interested in you before I found out you were a psychotic liar. I'm not interested in you after finding out you were, and I don't mean romantically. I'm God, absolutely not romantically interested in you. But I mean, I'm not interested in you at all. I'm like, as a person, to even be interested enough to be angry at you. I feel sorry for you. That's about the most energy or emotion I can get, I guess, have for you, because you're not important. You're like nobody. Like, I don't care about you at all. Like, you're a joke. So I'm not following you around. I don't want you. I don't like you. I'm not hurt that I simply wanted to know. I'm curious, because if I get timed out in a chat, I want to know. I'm curious as to why. So I ask. And so that's what I was asking, because Brown Eye has always said his place is a place for reaction. Everyone is welcome. He's not loyal to anybody. It's just Brown Eye. So, but then all of a sudden, when his mod gets butthurt and doesn't want people there, then they're not there. Cool. Again, that's his prerogative. He could totally do that. I do what you do. But don't lie and say I was mistreating you, talking about you, doing anything to you. Not only was I not doing anything to you in the chat, I haven't talked about you in weeks, months. I don't even, when did your story happen? Last month? I don't give a freak about you. I don't talk about you in the castle. Jesus Christ, y'all, somebody's car just flipped over on the side. Lord Jesus, be with those people. Hope they're not harmed. Anyway, I don't care about you. You're nothing. You're nobody. I haven't talked about you. I know that's your delusion of grandeur, that you're so important that someone would talk about you. And that's why you say, oh, she's talking about me. I'm not talking about you anywhere. Not in chats, not on panels, not on your page, not on my page, not on anybody's page. You are nothing. I was not hurt by you lying and pretending to be all these personalities. I thought it was sick and stupid and sad, but I wasn't hurt. Why would I care? I don't care about you. Like Hopper said, I don't know you. You can say whatever you want to say about me, but don't lie. Like, if you can tell the truth or share your opinion, but don't lie. Don't say I blocked MGO because she talks about me. I didn't say I blocked MGO because I'm butthurt that I got popped in my lies, and I'm still hurt about it a month or however much later, and I'm just a weenie, whiny little stupid little baby. And just say the truth. You're a baby. You're an idiot. I'm sorry, I shouldn't insult babies. Babies are cute and sweet, and they learn. You're a pathetic loser. You're upset that you got caught being a pathetic loser. And before we caught you being a lying pathetic loser, people were just humoring you to be kind. They felt sorry for you. Like pity coochie? Like how sometimes people will give somebody some because they feel so sorry for them. You were a pity panelist. People tolerated you because they felt sorry for you. Because it was so obvious that you needed to be acknowledged in some kind of way. You needed attention. So they gave you some, but they didn't want you there. And having you there actually hurt the channel the majority of the time. People started leaving the chat. People started making eye roll emojis in the chat, dropping hooks, people were annoyed and didn't want you there. And some places they got rid of you. You know what I mean? Remember? Simeon Speaks got rid of you. So if you don't want me there because you feel bad about you lying and you putting up videos about me, then just admit it. But don't say I did anything to you. I didn't do anything to you. I defend myself. I don't start anything with anybody. That's never been my MO. That is not me. First of all, nobody matters enough for me to get myself out of character for that. But none of you are that important. But aside from that, I literally don't care about you. Like, I'm driving home. When I pull into my driveway, I'm done talking about you. I'm going to put these little screenshots up. I'd like you to defend those. Liar. Tim-Do-Shay. You know what I mean? So you think you're all that because, again, you have a mod stick. You have a little place where somebody deals with you, tolerates you. You're there like a little good little groupie, right? You know what I mean? Booty all wet. You know what I mean? All hot and bothered for Brown Eye, allegedly. No, I'm just joking. I don't think you have any, well, actually, I don't know, but I don't know how you swing. But I don't think you have any sexual interest in him. I don't know what you do or don't have, but you're certainly like all fanned out, right? About him. Like, you know, like the best fanboy ever. I don't want you. I don't care about you. I was not talking about you. I was not criticizing you. You sit here and I have nothing to apologize for you. I've never done anything to you. I have never followed you around. I went to Brown Eye's chat. You timed me out of it. I wanted to know why. You gave a fake lie as the reason. Nobody's messing with you. All right? So lie if you want to. I don't care about you. I was not saying anything to you. I have not been saying anything about you or to you or engaging anyone talking about you or to you. If you make any more videos about me, I'm going to strike them successfully like I struck the other ones. That was my first time ever trying, and it went through with flying colors. You are so obvious and so pathetic that you can't even like troll somebody correctly. So get your facts straight, right? If you don't like, if someone can say they don't want somebody somewhere, and they can say the reason, I just don't like you, I don't like people you hang with, or I don't like the way you speak, I don't like the way you this, I don't like the way you that. Cool. Say the truth. Don't lie. But you know, what would I expect from someone who is a habitual liar? All you're going to do is lie. You're a mod. You can say any reason you want. I don't want MGO here because I'm not comfortable, because it reminds me of when I was lied on. I'm sorry, when I lied to everybody. You know what I mean? But no, you're saying it because people were talking about you. Dude, no one was talking about, well, I can't speak for other people. Maybe they were talking about you. I don't think so. I don't think they've been interested in you. Again, you're not, like, there's so many other storylines going on and people who are more interesting to talk about. So I haven't heard anybody mention you. Copper brought you up because you were acting like a victim because you did something wrong and you were acting like a victim. But dude, have you seen yourself? I'm not interested in you. You can post the over a year old screenshot from when I was in the ICU and I was swollen up and I was sick. That's fine. And you can laugh at Brown Eye talking about big back. I have chunky arms. They've been chunky since I had my baby, pregnancy changes a woman's body. You know what I mean? Brown Eye, you know what I mean? I know you can't get pregnant because you don't have a womb, or anything like that. But, pregnancy changes, but I'm far from a big back. But anyway, if I was, and who gives a freak? But you're Timothy. You are so sad and pathetic that you can't even man up. You can't even stand on it like a man and be like, I don't want MGO there just because I don't like her. But no, you have to say somebody's bothering you, messing with you. Nobody's messing with you, right? Nobody's messing with you. You mess with yourself. You've messed with your own credibility. You're trash. Let me tell you, you weren't even important enough for me to include in the lawsuit that I was working on. Like, you're so insignificant. You know what I mean? Like, you're nothing. Get a life, dude. Enjoy being on Brown Eye's panel because that's the only place where your best YouTube friend, your besties, that's out of your mouth. Enjoy being there. You know what I mean? While he talks about bad BITCHESs like he's a 12th grader. Oh, bad bees, and talking about himself is it the third person? I'm sorry. Like he's so important. Oh, Brown Eye. It's Brown Eye. Brown Eye, anyway, I'm not going to bother. I don't care. You know what I mean? Bragging about people who don't want you. Like, you know what I mean? Who are just friends with you. Just because they popped up on your channel, that doesn't mean they want you. Just because they asked to meet for lunch or coffee doesn't mean they want you. Okay? They do not. But anyway, I'm not saying I'm not saying people don't want you. People want anybody. But you know what I mean? There have been men and women and humans of all types who like whoever they like. Cool. For you to, I think I know what this is really about. Are y'all butthurt for how Marcus dragged the freak out of the two of you the other day? Because Marcus bodied you two. He bodied you without even trying. He wasn't even trying. He's just rolling home like I'm rolling in the car, killing some time. He was just killing some time, and he bodied the hell out of both of you. Out of Brown Eye, out of Tim-Do-Shay, the wannabe king. He bodied you, and you're hurt. Your butt hurt. Oh, poor baby. Oh my gosh. I think, you know what I mean? Let's see, it's 9:24. In between my meetings today, when I have like a break, I'm going to ask Vibes Queen for permission to play a portion of that live, that panel when you got popped. I'm going to play it so that anyone who's not familiar with Tim-Do-Shay can get a little idea for who you are, the real you. The real you. And with that, y'all, I'm not home yet, but I want to listen to some music because I've given enough time to Tim-Do-Shay. Say whatever you want to say about me. Don't lie. dislike me. I don't think enough about you to dislike you. Like you're nothing. That would require having like some emotion or energy toward you. You're too unimportant to dislike. Again, I feel sorry for you. But if you want to dislike me, cool. Hate me, cool. And you know, like I don't care enough about you to block you. That's why I can still see your comments and all that. Like you're not that important. And by the way, Tim-Do-Shay, it's you can't make this up. Not you can't not make this up, because that's a double negative. Can't not means you can. So every time you say you can't not make this up, you're saying you actually can make this up. So you can keep saying it if you want to. You know, I'm just giving you a little tip. Like there's a whole bunch of other stuff you say wrong, but that's not important. But that one thing you might want to, since you say it like every single live stream, you might want to get it right. But yeah, VQ, I'm going to hit you up on IG, see if it's okay for me to share that. MGO is saying that. I'm gone. In case y'all are not aware, today is Vaughn's birthday. He is the big 37 today. Yesterday was Golden Signature's birthday. She's 21 again. Just kidding. You know, she's a grown and sexy woman. So if you want to bless Vaughn today, he is ATVVAUN. So when you put a $sign in front of that, if you want to hit him on Cash App, he's also on PayPal. If you would like to send anything to him or the children, in the description, I'm going to put the information for my nonprofit. It is tax deductible. If you want to give anything to Vaughn or other families that my organization helps, I'd be happy to do so, and you will get a receipt. You can also, and if you've ever given anything to support our organization for any of the families or tasks that we support, you can always email my staff at admin, ADMIN, at advocacywithoutborders.org, and they will give you what you need. So with that, Tim-Do-Shay, you suck. You're a liar. You're a liar. And I'm going to sing with my not very good singing voice, so maybe I should have kept my mouth shut talking about Brown Eye being off key, because I'm going to be far more off key, but I've never professed to be a singer. I'm not a singer. I'm an advocate. I'm a researcher. I'm a writer. I'm a mom. That's me. Not a singer. I love to sing, but I'm a horrible, horrible singer. But I'm going to say to my friend Vaughn, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. And I'll see you later today. Y'all be blessed. Please share this out if you don't mind. Thank you for the people who've come in. I'm so sorry I couldn't speak to y'all. I see some stuff kind of popping on the chat. I see some different names and some friends, but I can't reach out. The sun is kind of, you know, the glare from the sun is on it, so I can't see your names or your comments very clearly, but I appreciate them very much. Y'all don't mind sharing this out, because Tim-Do-Shay needs a little, like, you know, understanding. You're a jerk, Tim-Do-Shay. You're nothing. You're nobody. And I kind of like these little drive live things. I might do them here and there, because I think I have something I need to say to King of Thumbs. So I might make one for him later on. But at any rate, I gotta go listen to my music before I start my meetings. Y'all be blessed. Thank you so much. Bye.